Hello. If you enjoyed the story, leave your comment, give it a like and subscribe. Thank you very much. God bless you. I never believed in miracles until that Tuesday afternoon in downtown Phoenix. I was driving home from another exhausting day at the insurance office, stuck in the usual 4 p.m. traffic, when I heard it, a sound that would haunt me forever. My son is dying. The desperate scream pierced through my closed windows like a knife through silence. I looked around frantically, trying to locate the source of this heart-wrenching cry. There she was, a woman in her 30s, Hispanic, wearing a faded blue dress, standing in the middle of the intersection. She was holding a small boy, maybe 4 years old, his tiny body limp in her arms. Cars were honking, drivers were yelling, but she didn't move. She just kept screaming those 3 words over and over. My son is dying. My first instinct was to drive around her like everyone else. I had my own problems, my own deadlines, my own life to worry about. But something about her eyes, the raw terror, the absolute desperation, it grabbed me by the throat. I'd seen that look before, 20 years ago, in my own mother's eyes when my little sister was rushed to the hospital. I pulled over to the curb, my hands shaking as I turned off the engine. Other drivers were getting impatient, some were calling the police, others were recording with their phones. But nobody was helping. Nobody was stopping. In that moment, I realized I had a choice that would define who I really was as a human being. The woman's voice was getting hoarse from screaming. The little boy's lips were turning blue. Time was running out, and I was about to do something that would change 3 lives forever. I opened my car door and stepped into what felt like destiny itself. Ma'am, ma'am, I shouted as I ran toward her. I can help. Get in my car. She looked at me with wild, desperate eyes, tears streaming down her face. He can't breathe, she gasped in broken English. My Miguel, he can't breathe. I could see the child's chest struggling to rise and fall. His small face was pale, almost gray, and his eyes were rolling back. Without hesitation, I scooped them both up and carried them to my car. The hospital, she whispered. Please, the hospital. But I knew something she didn't. I knew these streets like the back of my hand, and I knew that Phoenix General was 20 minutes away in this traffic. 20 minutes this child didn't have. As I started the engine, my mind raced through alternatives. Then I remembered, Dr. Sarah Chen, my college roommate, had opened a private clinic just 6 blocks away. I'd gotten the invitation to her grand opening but never attended. Now, that small piece of information might save a life. I called her while speeding through red lights. Sarah, it's Mike. I'm bringing you a child who's dying. Respiratory distress. 2 minutes out. Her response was immediate. Bring him to the back entrance. I'll be ready. The mother was praying in Spanish, rocking her son gently. I caught fragments. Por favor, Dios, no me lo quites. Please, God, don't take him from me. I pressed harder on the accelerator, weaving through traffic like a man possessed. In my rearview mirror, I could see the child's condition worsening. What's your name? I asked her, trying to keep her calm. Maria, she whispered. Maria Gonzalez. And you? Mike, I replied. Mike Thompson. And we're going to save Miguel. But even as I said those words, I wondered if I was making a promise I couldn't keep. Dr. Chen was waiting at the clinic's back entrance with 2 nurses and a gurney. The moment I pulled up, they sprang into action like a well-oiled machine. Severe allergic reaction, Sarah diagnosed within seconds of examining Miguel. Anaphylactic shock. How long has he been like this? Maybe 10 minutes, Maria sobbed. He was playing in the park, then suddenly he couldn't breathe. I don't have insurance, I don't have money, but please. Sarah cut her off with a gentle but firm voice. Money doesn't matter right now. Only Miguel matters. I watched in amazement as Sarah worked. Her hands moved with precision and confidence, administering epinephrine, establishing an 4-line, monitoring vital signs. The transformation was almost immediate. Miguel's color began to return, his breathing stabilized, his eyes fluttered open. Mama! he whispered weakly. Maria burst into tears, kissing his forehead repeatedly. See, mi amor, Mama's here. I felt tears welling up in my own eyes. This was why I'd stopped. This moment right here, a mother getting her son back. But Sarah's expression remained serious. He's stable now, but I need to keep him for observation. Maria, has Miguel ever had an allergic reaction before? Maria shook her head. Never. He's always been healthy. Sarah nodded thoughtfully. Sometimes these reactions come out of nowhere. The important thing is we caught it in time. As Miguel's breathing returned to normal, I realized something profound was happening. This wasn't just about saving a child's life. This was about three strangers becoming connected in a way that would last forever. But I had no idea that the biggest surprise was yet to come. While Miguel rested, Maria and I sat in the waiting room. She kept thanking me in both English and Spanish, but I felt like I should be thanking her. You gave me a chance to be the person I always wanted to be, I told her. She looked confused, so I explained about my sister, about the regret I'd carried for 20 years. When I was 15, I began. My little sister Emma had an asthma attack at school. A teacher called my mom, but Mom was at work and couldn't leave immediately. She asked me to pick up Emma, but I was hanging out with friends and said I'd go later. By the time I got there, Emma had been rushed to the hospital. Maria listened intently as I continued. She survived, but barely. The doctors said if someone had gotten there even 10 minutes earlier, she wouldn't have suffered the lung damage that plagued her for years. I never forgave myself for choosing my friends over my sister's emergency. But you stopped for us, Maria said softly. You chose differently this time. I nodded, feeling a weight lifting from my shoulders that I'd carried for 2 decades. Emma died 3 years ago from complications related to that attack. I always wondered if I could have prevented it all. Just then, Sarah emerged from the examination room with a strange expression on her face. Miguel is doing great, she announced, but I need to ask you both something important. Maria, what's Miguel's full name? Miguel Antonio Gonzalez Rivera, she replied. Sarah's eyes widened. And his father? Maria's face darkened. He left when Miguel was born. His name was David Rivera. Sarah sat down heavily. I think, she said slowly, I think Miguel might be my nephew. The silence that followed was deafening. None of us could have predicted this twist of fate. My brother David disappeared 6 years ago, Sarah explained, her voice shaking. He was struggling with addiction, got involved with the wrong people. Our family tried to help, but he vanished one day. We never heard from him again. Maria's face went pale. David told me he had no family. He said he was alone in the world. Sarah pulled out her phone and showed us a photo. Is this him? Maria gasped and nodded. That's Miguel's father. The resemblance between Miguel and the man in the photo was unmistakable. Sarah continued. David was always running from his problems. He probably told you he had no family because he was ashamed. I sat there stunned, realizing I hadn't just saved a random child. I'd saved my doctor friend's nephew. But the story gets even more incredible. Sarah looked at me with tears in her eyes. Mike, there's something else. The reason I became a pediatric emergency specialist, the reason I opened this clinic, it was because of a little girl named Emma Thompson. My heart stopped. What did you say? Sarah continued, 20 years ago, I was a medical student doing rotations at Phoenix Children's Hospital. A 15-year-old girl came in with severe asthma complications. Emma Thompson. I was part of the team that treated her. Her case inspired me to specialize in pediatric emergencies. I never forgot her name, or her brother Mike who blamed himself for not getting there sooner. The room spun around me. You treated Emma? Sarah nodded. I've been carrying her memory for 20 years, just like you've been carrying your guilt. When you called me today, when you said your name was Mike, something clicked, but I couldn't believe it until now. Maria looked between us, confused but sensing the magnitude of the moment. "So you both knew Emma?" I nodded, barely able to speak. "Emma was my sister. And Miguel." I looked at the sleeping child. "Miguel is alive because Emma's memory inspired Sarah to become the doctor who could save him." In that moment, I understood something profound about the universe. Sometimes what seems like coincidence is actually completion. Emma's story hadn't ended in tragedy. It had created a ripple effect that saved another child's life 20 years later. My guilt had been transformed into purpose, Sarah's inspiration had become expertise, and Maria's desperation had become gratitude. Miguel woke up asking for water, completely unaware that his near-death experience had just healed 3 broken hearts and revealed the most beautiful truth of all. We're all connected in ways we never imagine, and sometimes the most unthinkable thing is simply love working through ordinary people to create extraordinary miracles.